This movie is like if you took Star Wars, Blade Runner, and a little bit of District 9, and you mixed it into this film, but had its own original story. The creator is what pops out at the end of the conveyor belt. Thanks for checking out Mr. T's Film Preach. Let me know in the comments down below, what did you think of the film The Creator? Were you a fan of this movie? Do you love Gareth Edwards' past films? Were you a fan of Rogue One? I would love to hear your thoughts and comments down below. Don't forget to click that like button and subscribe for more content. Today we're talking about one of the most anticipated films for me for the rest of 2023 is the 2023 action thriller sci-fi adventure film, The Creator. In a future war between humans and the forces of artificial intelligence, an ex-special operative agent Josh is recruited to hunt down and kill the Creator, an elusive architect of advanced AI who has developed a mysterious weapon with the power to end both the war and mankind itself.
The AI are developing a super weapon. Retrieve it, or they win.
Directed by Gareth Edwards, who had also done films like Rogue One, Godzilla. I just did a video a couple weeks ago on the top 10 anticipated films that are left in 2023, and The Creator was on that list. I've been anticipating this film for quite some time. I was actually pretty impressed with this film. Overall, I had a great time. I thought it was an excellent sci-fi adventure film. The world that this film takes place in, the artificial intelligence, the robots, the humanoids, just the overall feel and tone and the world building is just extraordinary here. It kind of feels like the first time I saw District 9 and Elysium and these kind of independent sci-fi action thriller films. This is kind of what it feels like. It kind of feels like a return to Star Wars with good practical effects, filming on real locations. Not everything is just on green screen. Don't get me wrong, there are crazy, amazing visual effects and lots of green screen used at certain specific times, but they actually filmed on real locations for this movie, and I just appreciate that. I appreciate it and respect it. Massive opus sci-fi adventure action thriller film that I think stuck the landing overall. Definitely some inspirations from those other movies and other genres, but made its own sort of story and its own world that it's set in. To me, the best part about this movie is the visuals, the stunning attention to detail for the world that this is set in, the mechanics and the robotics and the vehicles that are driven and flown, practical effects that were in this movie, combining it with CGI and special effects, and also just great props and costumes and set design. I thought that part of this movie, the technical aspects of this movie, are incredible.
That was totally wicked!
And thank goodness, because I was really looking forward to Dune Part 2. Let's not talk about it. This was the movie that really took that place and took that sci-fi action thriller spot. Some people said that the writing of this film isn't the greatest, and I have to split that into two parts. And one that I definitely don't agree with, because I think the story is one of the best parts about this movie. People are like, oh, the story's weak. But sci-fi movies like this are supposed to be simple. You look at Star Wars, it's the first one. It's a rescue mission. It's a coming of age story. That's it. Yes, the details and the world is expansive and beautiful and it's like very intricate that way, but the story is simple.
It's so simple.
When the world is so expansive and there's so many characters already in this film, the story doesn't need to be complicated. So if you're looking for something like Arrival, I don't think that this movie is going to do it for you. And I understand that criticism. But for me, keeping the story simple is a brilliant and smart idea when this world is so advanced, so crazy, so complicated already. We don't need to add in a Christopher Nolan plotline
Because it's all part of the plan.
This is a basic, straightforward sci-fi film. They just don't make very many movies like this anymore. Not to this size and scale and scope. And I think that's the other thing that I'm so impressed about with Gareth Edwards. This feels huge while still feeling contained. And I think that's brilliant filmmaking by him. Brilliant! The actual directing of like executing the action and the adventure part and the little details in this world, I thought were brilliantly executed by Gareth Edwards and his team. I thought the film looked great. They shot it well. There was a lot of awesome moments. Feel the magnitude of this sweeping blockbuster. Like, I enjoyed this movie and I wanted to love it more than I did in the end. I liked it a lot, but I don't think this is the best sci-fi movie of the 21st century.
No way.
Because of the writing of the dialogue. And I mentioned this earlier with the writing itself. I thought in one half of it was really great, like the story and the characters' backgrounds and stuff like that. I thought were awesome. But then the dialogue was brutal.
Ouch.
Literally times where they use the cliche lines, "We got company."
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
No, those lines that you hear in movies over and over again, and you're like, why do they keep putting those lines in? They're actually not good. They're really stupid and contrite, and no one in real life says these things. Lines were quite cheesy and very like on the nose and no subtlety to it. Felt like there was no depth to the characters.
What do you want, sweetie?
For robots to be free.
We don't have that in the fridge. How about ice cream?
Didn't think was executed that well in the writing. And also in the acting, I have to say, this is a magnificent cast. The cast is unreal. And really, only the little girl and Allison Janney I thought were quite good in this movie. Everyone else I thought was fine. I know that Gareth Edwards was like, you all should be crying at this moment. You all should be feeling this gigantic, beautiful moment, or this heartbreaking moment, or whatever. I felt it, and it was there, but it didn't impact me the way I wanted it to, and I thought it was trying to accomplish. Maybe my emotions were a little bit shut off the night that I went to see this film, but my reaction coming out of the theater was just like, cool, that was interesting. But it wasn't surprising, and it wasn't that emotionally resonant. There were a lot of things in this movie I guessed within the first 5 minutes. This person's gonna betray this person. This character is gonna actually end up being this person. I don't know if it was the way they unfolded the story. I wasn't sure if it was the dialogue mixing in with the writing and maybe the performances, and just didn't know how to necessarily deliver the emotional impact of this film. I just felt like it was lacking at times and really didn't connect with me emotionally. Their chemistry wasn't there. It wasn't as impactful as I've seen other, father-daughter dynamics. I just recently watched Finding Nemo. Now, this movie is nothing like Finding Nemo, let me just state that first. But the feel of like the parent-offspring emotionality to Finding Nemo was really impactful. And then I go to this movie and it's that dynamic between this child, this AI child, and this adult human, and it just wasn't there.
She's not there.
I have to say I felt the editing was a bit shaky. Like, they flash back to certain moments to show Gemma Chan's character, the wife, to show her perspective in certain regards, in certain moments, and it just took us out of the movie fully. Like, I was going, okay, is this happening right now or is this in the past?
Is this real life?
And then there were certain times where they almost like flash forward visions of the future to come. But I have to say, like, it really did confuse me. And I think that is just the editing. It came down, the editing was a little bit shaky. After about the hour and 50-minute mark, I was checking my watch. I was going like, okay, there's some scenes in here that they could have chopped all together. They could have edited out. They could have actually even taken out certain characters. There were too many characters in this movie at times. Before I give my final thoughts and grade on this film, please click that like button and subscribe to my channel for more content. Also, let me know in the comments down below, what did you think of The Creator? Were you a lover of this sci-fi film? I would love to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for doing that. Overall, I did enjoy this film. I actually thought it was well executed generally. I thought the technical aspects, the visual effects, the story itself, the world that it's setting were all incredible. Awesome parts of this movie. It was great to see. It was like rewatching those sci-fi adventure films that I personally love, and they just don't make enough of these kind of movies. So I give Gareth Edwards and his crew 2 thumbs up for that way. But the film was held back from being, for me, a masterpiece because the acting at times was a bit shoddy. The writing of the dialogue and sometimes the plot points just didn't really work. And the movie was, I would say, 15 to 20 minutes, a bit too long. But generally, if you want a great adventure, action, sci-fi, visual stunning movie, this is definitely the film to check out, and I think you'll enjoy the hell out of this. Definitely check it out on the big screen. It is so worth it. So overall, I'm gonna go ahead and give the creator a B+. Thank you so much for checking out Mr. Teach Film Preach. Come back and check out some other reviews like Dumb Money, A Haunting in Venice, and The Equalizer 3. Stay focused, stay awesome, and as always, let's get taught.